Hello and welcome to Hotchkiss Performance, and in this video we're going to be talking about which is the best tar remover. But first I'll put the kettle on. What's up everybody, hope you're all doing well. Okay, so today I'm going to be looking at what is the best tar remover. I've done a little test so we can find the top three out of all the contenders. I'm pretty sure, I'm assuming that with you watching this video you already know what a tar remover is, and you're just trying to find the best possible one out there. If you haven't, we have done a video on what a tar remover does and what it's used for. I will leave a link to that below. Okay, so first we'll just go through a lineup of chemical products that we have in this video. So we have Autosmart Tardis, AM Tar, Waxplanet Taragone, KKD Tar Off V2, CarPro Tar X, and Akira Brand. We've also got another contender, but that is almost a separate test, as I just want to show you a little something with that particular one compared with the others, and that is KKD Tartastic. So for the test, what we did was we tested three properties of the products, one being potency, so how strong the chemical reacts and how much tar it actually removes. Dwell time, so how long the product sits on the tar and reacts before it dries up and the chemical just isn't working anymore. And also we did a dry and wet application, because generally you will the car might be a bit damp or wet after you've washed the car, because you always remove tar after the full wash process. I understand some of you may dry the vehicle, but you're not going to try to dry it 100% because you've got to get the tar off and then rewash it anyway. So I just thought that I'd throw in there just to see if the water on the panel will affect the chemical in any way. Of course it will, because generally tar removers emulsify in water, which makes them easier to rinse off. Generally speaking, when you're rinsing the chemical off the panel, it will turn sort of a white milky substance and then come off. Yeah, I'm waiting for the comments. Anyway, it will come off the car, come off the panel, and then it's you can carry on with the rest of the process, such as iron removers, etc. For the test we used bitumen and basically tried to apply similar amounts as close as we could. This isn't a lab test as such, but as close as we could, we applied the same amount in strips across the vehicle, so we can test each product on each piece of bitumen. With each product we will be leaving the chemical on for 1 minute and then wiping with a single wipe of a cloth to see just how much it has removed and how much is left behind. So first up we have Autosmart Tardis. Now this is generally a trade product, and it's a bit more difficult to get hold of because you can only get it through a, what do they call them? Local Autosmart franchisee. They have a van that comes around to sell you the product. You will have to go to the Autosmart website to find who is your local franchise. So it's difficult to pinpoint a price because every franchisee, depending on how much you buy from them and how well you know them, they're going to vary the prices on how much Tardis is. But as a ballpark, 5 litres I've gone for around £30. Yes, I know you might get it cheaper, you might get it more expensive, but that's just a ballpark figure for the sake of the test. So we sprayed the product on, left for a minute, and wiped away to see how much was left. Next up was AM Tar, which is £10 for 500 millilitres. I basically tried to use a 500 milliliter price as the, for the test, because not all products are available in 5 litres, apart from the ones that you can only get 5 litres. So it was difficult, pinpoint pricing, but I did the best I can with what I was working with. Waxplanet Taragone, 500ml is £7.50, or you can get a full pro bottle for £11.50. The Tar Off V2, again a 5 litre only product, and it's £28.99. CarPro Tarex, 500 millilitres is £11.99, a litre is £18.99, and 5 litres is £69.99. CarPro are generally expensive products, but they do work, and they do work very well. Please note that CarPro products are generally designed for their coated vehicles, so each of the products will work on their CarPro C-coats coatings and not degrade the coating in any way. So Tarex is a milder tar remover compared to the others, I would personally say. But I thought I'd throw it in the test just to see, how good it actually is and how potent it is to say it is a weaker product. Finally, we have Akira Brand, which is 500 millilitres for £8.99. I understand that some of the trigger sprayers, in the test, they're not all universal. So, the grey chemical trigger sprayers, I was using one spray of the trigger, sort of to keep it fair, because it's easier to sort of measure. But with the Akira Brand and the Tarex, I tried to roughly spray on the same amount as one square of a chemical resistant trigger on the others. So that's why you can see me put slightly more on. Or it looks like I'm putting slightly more on because I'm pressing the trigger more often, or pumping, the top of the smaller CarPro Tarex bottle. I then thoroughly wet the panel and did the same again. Just one square of the trigger on each, taking care to try to put the same amount of product onto the bitumen to see how it reacted when the panel was wet. Repeated for all of the chemicals, left for a minute, and again wiped with a single wipe of a cloth to see how much was left. So that brings us on to dwell time. It was a funny one, this. I wasn't expecting much difference in the products because you can smell them, they're all pretty solvent heavy, so you would expect them to evaporate pretty rapidly. Now, generally speaking, a lot of them dried out at similar times. There really wasn't much in it. I'm talking, I kept an eye on them and they all pretty much dried up, at the same time. What was interesting was Tar Off, which was the best dwell time out of all of them. So perhaps it's being formulated to sit longer and so it wasn't sort of reacting fully instantly and, you know, removing as much tar as maybe the others straight away. But it was the only one out of the rest that when I wiped my finger onto the surface, it was still wet, so it was still sort of reacting, whereas the other ones were just bone dry. You know, there was nothing left, it was just perfectly dry, the panel. So yeah, so tar off, it did surprise me because I expected it to dry out pretty much the same as the others. And also it doesn't have quite as much of a sting of solvent. You know, when you're spraying them on and you get a whiff, it doesn't seem to really get into your lungs like the others do. Of course, when using these products, you need to wear, you know, you need to wear protection equipment, or you should, you know, respirator, you know, eye care, that kind of thing, because they are the dangerous products, they're flammable, etc. So just take care when using them, unless you're like me that just, you know, sprays them on and gets a lung full, and that's another story. Now, before we get on to the results, I just want an honourable mention for Tartastic. Tartastic is a phenomenal product, as its dwell time, it can't be beaten. It will actually sit for hours without evaporating or drying out, and that's no exaggeration. Ninja Hotchkiss actually sprayed some onto some glue on a panel. There's no word of a lie. He left it, he did it in the afternoon time. He went back to it the next morning and it hadn't dried. Still there, still on the panel. It hadn't dried overnight. Bearing in mind this was probably springtime. It wasn't particularly hot, but it wasn't cold either. No dry. It just sat on the panel, and which makes it perfect for glue, because it will sit and slowly eat away at the glue. Whereas the other ones, because they're a thinner substance, they will sort of just sit on the top and you'll just be constantly scraping off the top layer of glue and it's not reacting underneath. Whereas the gel just sits and really works that glue off, no problems at all. Because what I actually did with the Tartastic was spray it onto a piece of bitumen and did the entire test. All of the others, I tested them, I waited, dwell times, all the rest of it. You know, it wasn't a quick test. Went back to it, still wet through, still reacting, and just wiping my finger over the bitumen, it was just lifting off, no worries. It's brilliant. It's the best for glue, in my opinion. It's the best sort of gel type product, tar based. It's also the safest because it's not really, it doesn't have a solvent smell. It actually smells quite pleasant, and it doesn't stain trim. Like the others have a potential to sort of bleach and stain, you know, the plastic trims and rubbers, but Tartastic doesn't. So it's the safest, it's the longest dwelling. It's a great product. Would recommend you have some, because there's just them odd occasions where a standard tar remover just hasn't got the dwell time because they dry up so quickly. And it is brilliant, Tartastic. Just wanted to mention that for anyone that's wondering for one that they might want a really long dwell time if they're working in hot conditions, etc. So I would recommend you check that out. Okay, so to the bit that you've all been waiting for, which is the results. Obviously taking everything into consideration, dwell times, the potency when dry and wet, the price as well, we have come to a conclusion. In third place, we have AM Tar. Very capable product. It is potent. It's sort of meant to be a weaker sort of tar and glue remover. I don't think it's meant to be a really harsh one. But potency wise, really, really impressed. It just, you know, it got rid of the tar nice and easy. I know there's not really much to say about a tar remover. If it removes tar and it moves it pretty fast, you know, you've got a winner. But there is slight variations which I will explain at the end once we've got to the winner. In second place, this was very, very close compared to AM Tar and Waxplanet Taragone. Similar potency. I would say Waxplanet does dwell slightly longer. Not particularly long, I would say. Probably a couple of minutes, if that. But, you know, it's something to consider. And the reason it came just above price point, Taragone, it's a great price. It's cheap. It's cheap as far as tar removers go. And, you know, it's potent, does the job well. So that's why it just reaches above AM Tar as in second place. So in first place, we have, I just need to go and put kettle on. No, I'm joking. Number 1 spot, Autosmart Tardis. Now, before you all start running at me with pitchforks, Autosmart, I know some people don't agree with. It seems to be almost like a cheap product nowadays, all the brand snobs out there. It's the most potent. It works. It's strong. I'm pretty sure everyone in the industry that's tried it knows how good it is. The only problem I would say is dwell time. It does dry up pretty rapid. Now, I'm guessing because it is the strongest, it's high solvent. So it's going to evaporate quicker. It's going to, because it's such a heavy, potent product. But it just works. And like I said, putting everything into consideration, it came out with the best points because I have a scoring system. And it came out on top. Now, what I will say is, it's a bit of a pain to get hold of. You know, it can't be ordered online. So if you're running out and you need some tar remover and you want Tardis, it's a pain to get. You know, I know it's available on eBay. I wouldn't personally trust eBay because it's so easy to water down and you don't know if you're getting the genuine article. So finding a franchisee, ringing them up, asking them if they're available, if they're in your area to come and, you know, drop you some off, you might be stuck. Which is why I would probably say my personal favourite has to be Taragone. Easy to source, you know. Tony at Waxplanet sells online. You can go and pop in and get some if you're local, which they are to us, so that's handy. But you can order online anywhere in the country and you're going to get it. You know, it might be 1-2 days, but that might be quicker than getting it from, you know, an Autosmart franchisee. So personally, once I've run out of the Tardis I have, I will just be buying Taragone. That is my go-to at the moment because it works. And we're talking, at the top 3, we're talking such fine points that, in all honesty, you could pretty much say the joint because you're not going to be disappointed with any of them. They're not going to let you down. They're going to do what they need to do when they need to do it. So, but if we're talking, you know, rules are rules, the points, Tardis was on top, followed by Taragone and AM Tar. So that is the best tar remover. Of course, it's all personal opinion. Everybody has their preferences. Some of you may hate Tardis, some of you might love one of the others, CarPro, and, you know, just use that. That's fine. I'm just giving you my thoughts on what I've discovered from what I believe is a fair test. So that wraps it up. Thank you very much for watching. Please let me know in the comments which tar remover you use. You know, what you're thinking. Maybe you're thinking of using one of the others now that you've seen them in the test. If you've tried Tardis before or Taragone. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe for all of the next ones that will be coming. We've got plenty to come. Instagram, Facebook, got all the pages. Go and check us out. Hotchkiss Performance. And I shall see you very shortly. Cheers.